Hello, dear Aries. Tonight I want you to listen closely, because a truth that's been hidden for far too long is about to come to light, a truth that isn't only about the one who hurt you, but about you, and the justice the universe has already written. There have been moments you've asked yourself, does fairness really exist? The answer might surprise you. And this is the moment you need to hear, because every sign is pointing to one thing. Karma has arrived. And this time it leaves no one untouched. So let us begin this journey together with the very first call from the universe. Aries, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and listen to the rhythm of your own heart. Can you feel it? There's an invisible current moving all around you, gentle yet powerful, like the very breath of the universe. This is not a coincidence, and it's not some passing imagination. It's a call, a knock on the door from a deeper world. A place where justice is written in light and shadow, where every action, every word, every wound you've carried is remembered. And today, the universe has chosen this moment to whisper to you. There are truths in life that cannot stay buried forever. Secrets held for too long must eventually be brought into the light. Perhaps in recent days, you've noticed the signs repeating themselves. Numbers appearing over and over, sudden gust of wind that clenched your heart, or a dream that left you waking with a restless ache you couldn't explain. These are not accidents. They are the ways the universe awakens you, reminding you that a new chapter in your life is ready to unfold. In this world, there are wounds no human hand can ever heal. There are betrayals, injustices, lies that earthly law will never touch. But Aries, beyond the sky, there exists another scale. It moves slowly, patiently, but with perfect precision. This is divine justice, when human strength is not enough, when your tears have been shed until nothing is left. That justice comes in your place, to restore what was always meant to be yours. All of us have known the feeling of being cornered into darkness, nights when you asked, why me? Why do they hurt me, and never faced the cost? Your heart bled in silence, and maybe you believed no one saw it. But Aries, hear this, not a single tear you've shed has been forgotten. Not a single pain of yours has vanished into nothing. Every piece has been gathered, woven into a call. Until today, the justice of the universe speaks on your behalf. The message for you now is not just comfort, it is a truth, a certainty. The wheel of karma has begun to turn, and nothing can stop it. Whoever planted seeds of betrayal, of lies, of exploitation, will harvest the bitterness of their own hands, and this no longer belongs to you. You don't need revenge. You don't need to become someone else. The only thing you need is to stand tall, breathe, and trust that justice has found its way. I want you to picture a sunrise. The very first light breaks through the mist, quiet but steady. It does not ask the darkness for permission. It does not need a guide. It simply appears. And when it does, the night must retreat. Divine justice is the same. It may come later than you hoped, but once it arrives, no shadow can withstand it. And today, you are standing on the edge of such a dawn. Aries, do you see now that your journey has never been meaningless? Every fall, every scar, every tear has carried you closer to this very moment. You've traveled far enough to learn that true strength is not only in fighting back, but in letting go, in waiting patiently for the universe to do its part. And now, it has begun. Let me share with you what I've always believed. Universal justice is not a cold punishment. It is a design rooted in compassion. It does not come to destroy anyone. It comes to restore balance. Those who hurt you will face their lessons, and you will learn to walk lighter, no longer carrying the old weight. That is how the universe heals. That is how karma moves. So listen to your heartbeat now. It no longer beats alone. It beats in rhythm with the universe itself. It reminds you that you are never abandoned, that justice will never leave you behind. And when you believe that, a new light opens inside your soul, where hope begins to grow again. So tell me, who is it that hurt you so deeply, that karma itself has risen to answer? There's a truth that's hard to say out loud, yet every one of us has tasted it at some point. It's the feeling of being betrayed by the very people we once trusted with all our heart. They could have been a friend you confided in, someone you loved, or a person you opened your soul to. You gave your sincerity, but what you received in return were wounds that never seemed to heal. In their eyes, you saw promises, but behind your back, only the knives of deceit and exploitation remained. There were nights you lay awake asking yourself, where did I go wrong? What did I do to deserve such cruelty? But the truth is, many times you did nothing wrong at all. You were simply a soul brave enough to live honestly, to give more than others could, and because of that goodness, you became a mirror, reflecting their greed, their selfishness, and even their fears. The pain of betrayal is unlike any other. It doesn't leave scars on the skin. It carves itself deep into the heart. The place you thought was safest. It's like a cold summer storm, sudden cutting, leaving you shivering, lost in the middle of your own life. But look at it another way. Those wounds, as bitter as they are, become silent teachers. They teach you to see clearly what's real and what's false, who walks with you to the very end, and who was only there for a short stretch of the road. They remind you that kindness is never weakness, and softness does not mean you're easy to take advantage of. In truth, only the strongest souls dare to love fully, to give without calculating the cost. What hurt the most wasn't just the lies, it was the feeling of being abandoned, right when you needed someone the most, moments where you stood alone looking around, and felt that no one truly understood you. You wondered if anyone out there could really see you, or hear the silent cry inside your chest. That loneliness may have made you believe you were small, that your love no longer had meaning. But know this, in the very moment you were misunderstood, you were learning to understand yourself on a deeper level, and from there, you would rise with a heart more resilient, more unshakable than before. This story is not only about betrayal, it's also about courage. The courage to keep loving in a world quick to betray, the courage to trust again, even after being broken, the courage to stand back up, wipe away the tears, and say, I still choose love, because love is who I am. You may not see it now, but those wounds have made you brighter. They've filtered your light through the darkness, making it shine even stronger. They've created a kind of growth no book could ever teach, no money could ever buy, and one day when you look back, you'll see that the very people who hurt you became the unknowing catalysts for you to discover the true strength of your soul. So don't blame yourself for giving too much. In a world full of calculation, the ones who dare to give unconditionally are the bravest souls of all. And if someone failed to value what you offered, the fault was never yours. It was their lack of maturity, their inability to receive such a gift. Let your heart rest in this truth. You are not weak for having loved. You are strong because you walked through the pain. And if today you still carry the scars of yesterday, remember they don't make you less beautiful. They make you more like the cracks in Japanese pottery, mended with gold. Your scars gleam because of what you've endured. So now, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and tell yourself, I am not defined by my wounds. I am defined by how I rose after them. And just when you thought the darkness was winning, when betrayal and lies seemed to outweigh the truth, another force began to move. Silent yet steady, slow yet certain, that is when karma rises. The wheel of destiny never stops turning. And when it comes back around, no one can escape it. What a person sows in one way or another, they will reap. This isn't random punishment, it's the law of nature, like a seed falling into the earth. One day it must sprout. And when we speak of karma, we're not talking about petty revenge. We're talking about a current of justice that rises above human hands. A current strong enough to sweep away whatever no longer belongs in the order of the universe. Those who planted pain in your heart, those who treated your trust as something to exploit, are now beginning to face the truth. No more curtains to hide behind, no luck left to save them, because justice, once it knocks, never walks away. They step into a dark room and realize their own lies, their own betrayals have become chains around them. And you who once suffered to the point of breathlessness now stand as a quiet witness. You don't need to speak, you simply watch. As the universe arranges what must be, I believe, the justice of the universe never misses its appointment. It may come later than you wished, but it never disappears. It waits patiently until you've learned to let go, until your heart is light enough to welcome the balance it brings. Because if justice came while your soul was still full of anger, it wouldn't be healing. It would only be another spiral of pain. The lesson here is not about hoping someone else will fall. It's about learning to believe that fairness exists, and you don't need to become the one holding the sword. The truth is, every soul must face its own lessons. The one who hurt you will eventually see the darkness they created for themselves. And in that moment, you don't need anger. You don't need joy. You just need to breathe. Let your heart be at peace. And release yourself from the wound that used to bind you. Picture a small lamp lit in a dark room. That light doesn't need to fight the darkness. It just appears, and the darkness retreats on its own. Divine justice works the same way. It doesn't shout, it doesn't boast. But when it arrives, every falsehood bows its head. Those who once made you cry will find themselves crumbling under the weight of their own shadows. And when you witness this, remember, you don't need blame anymore, because justice is not for your revenge. It is for your freedom. The deepest gift of karma is the chance to set yourself free, not them. You, when you trust that everything follows its own law, you no longer cling to your wounds. You no longer ask why life is unfair. You know, everything will find its rightful place. Everything will return to balance. And in the moment you grasp this truth, your heart begins to bloom again, like a flower once closed by winter, now warmed open by the sun. I want you to remember this. The justice of the universe never comes to destroy you. It comes to remind you that you deserve freedom. You deserve peace. You deserve to walk a path no longer held down by shadows. And when you truly believe this, you'll find you no longer need apologies. You no longer need repayment, because justice is already here. Karma has spoken, and you've been given back yourself. So in this moment, let yourself listen to the silence. Feel the weight sliding off your shoulders, like a burden you've carried for years finally being set down. You don't need to strain anymore. You just need to walk forward, gently, and let justice do the rest. And once you see this clearly, another question rises inside you. If justice has done its part, then what will you do with your own memories, with the past that once haunted you? Because justice is not only about punishing others, it's also the reminder that you must find the courage to release what's behind you, so you can open a new chapter for yourself. There are memories that feel like heavy stones, tied to your heart, pulling your steps down as if your feet were sinking into the ground. Sometimes you think you've forgotten, you've moved on. But just one sound, one scent, or one passing phrase is enough to bring it all back. And suddenly you're standing in the same old moment, where the wound never healed. The past can feel like a familiar shadow, painful yet strangely hard to release, because you wonder, if I let it go, who will I be without it? Aries, the truth is you've carried these wounds for far too long, and each day you hold them inside. It's like pouring clean water into a jar already full of muddy water. No matter how much you add, one small stir, and it all turns cloudy again. You long for new beginning. But that beginning cannot live inside a vessel that has never been washed clean. For light to enter, the window must be opened wide, for new joy to take root. The old rotten roots must be cleared away. You may ask, how do I let go? Letting go is not pretending to forget, and it's not denying the pain. Letting go is when you face those memories, look them in the eye, and whisper, thank you for teaching me. It's when you realize, forgiveness is not a gift you give to the one who hurt you. It's a gift you give to your own soul. Forgiveness so you are no longer chained to the dark, so you can walk freely, no longer dragging bitterness behind you. Picture a garden covered in dry leaves. Each leaf is an old memory, a shard of betrayal, a fragment of sorrow. If you keep them all, there will never be space for new growth. But if you're brave enough to clear them away, you'll see seeds waiting beneath the soil, seeds that only need one good rain to rise. Your heart is the same, and in the deepest place within you, there is an unseen hand waiting for you to release the weight, the hand of God, the Creator, the one who has counted every tear you've ever shed. He has never abandoned you. He's only been waiting for you to open your heart. When you finally let go, when you say, I don't want to hold this pain anymore, grace pours down like spring rain, washing your soul clean. God doesn't erase your memories. He transforms them into lessons, turns wounds into strength. Do you see? Letting go is not losing, it's returning. Returning to yourself, uncovered by what others did to you. Returning to the pure light of your soul, where you are no longer a victim, but a survivor, a warrior who has overcome. Letting go is rebirth, and rebirth always asks for courage. Hear me on this. You cannot walk into the future while staring at a door that's already closed. Turn around and you'll see another door slightly open. Light slips through its cracks, gentle yet radiant, and all you have to do is let go and walk toward it. The moment you let go is the moment you are set free. Your heart feels lighter, your breath deeper, your eyes brighter. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone. You no longer need justice from those who once hurt you, because divine justice has already done its part, and you have done yours, learning to lay it down. That is the true blessing, a blessing that cannot come while your hand still clutches the stone. Only when you open it can God place a jewel inside, and that jewel is new love, new opportunities, new peace that you deserve. Tonight, if you sit alone, whisper these words: I let go to be free. I hand this over to you, so my heart may be at peace. And you will feel a warmth surround you, like a cool stream flowing through, cleansing every wound within. Because when you truly let go, you no longer live in the shadow of the past. You become yourself again, whole and new, ready to embrace the rebirth that the universe and God have prepared for you. And when you let go, a new door will open, just for you. Picture this: after a long road covered in shadows, every step weighed down with fragments of memory, suddenly a narrow beam of light appears. At first it's faint, fragile like a breath, but as you move closer, that light widens, and you realize it was the moment of letting go that opened that door, a door that leads you out of the room of pain and into the land of freedom. Aries, rebirth does not mean you have to become someone else. Rebirth is the journey back to the true nature of your soul, bright, radiant, but hidden beneath the dust of old wounds. When those layers are washed away, you see yourself more clearly, more purely, and you recognize that the eternal flame has always been burning inside your heart. Imagine stepping out from a dark cellar, your eyes still blurred by the night. Yet with every passing second, you feel the sun touching your skin, warming your chest. That light is not only out there, it is coming from you. You have walked through suffering, so you know the worth of peace. You have tasted betrayal, so you know what true love is. You have felt loss, so you now cherish what you hold in the present. Through this new door, you begin to see gifts you once believed you didn't deserve. A love that doesn't come to take from you, but to build with you. An opportunity that doesn't come to exploit, but to lift you higher. A flow of abundance that doesn't come through struggle, but through harmony between you and the universe. And above all, a peace so deep, you finally see happiness was never out there. It was always within you, waiting to be set free. Rebirth doesn't erase the past. The scars remain, but now they stand as proof of your strength, like a butterfly tearing its cocoon to spread its wings. You too had to pass through darkness to understand the value of light. Every beginning demands the courage to end something old, and you, Aries, have been brave enough to do just that. I know. There were moments you thought you could never rise again, that the pain was too heavy to ever heal. But right now, look in the mirror and see, you're still here, still breathing, still dreaming, still loving. That alone means you've already won. Rebirth is not some miracle from outside. It is the strength you planted in every moment you refused to give up. You see now, your journey was never meaningless. The darkness was only a road, teaching you to treasure the light. Betrayal was only a lesson, helping you understand the depth of loyalty. Loneliness was only the silence, where you discovered the voice of your soul. Now, as you cross through this new door, you carry all those lessons as your armor, your compass, your light. So pause for a moment, close your eyes and feel this. You are walking a new path. The sky feels wider, the air feels lighter, and your heart, after every storm, is opening like a flower just beginning to bloom. You have been reborn, and this time you are not carrying burdens. You are carrying light, and on this journey, the universe will never let you walk alone. In the quietest moments of life, when you think you are completely alone, subtle signs begin to appear like whispers from the universe. A number repeating on a clock, on a receipt, or even on a street sign. A strange dream returning again and again, where you meet a familiar face long gone from this world. A feather falling at your doorstep, on the very day your heart feels the heaviest. These things, Aries, are never random. The universe has its own language, and that language is rarely loud. It speaks in repetition, in small details the eye often overlooks. But if you pause, if you listen with your heart, you'll realize you've never been walking alone. You are protected, you are guided, you are surrounded by an unseen web of light. Think of repeating numbers, 11, 11, 22, 22, or 333. Some dismiss them as coincidence, but for the sensitive soul, they are reminders that you are aligned with the flow. That strange dream, it may be the doorway where your ancestors, those who walked before you, reach out to say, I am still here. Sometimes it's a faint voice calling your name. Sometimes the feeling of a hand brushing your shoulder, waking you in the night. And there are guardian angels who don't always appear with wide white wings, but maybe as a stranger arriving just when you need help, or a phone call that keeps you from making the wrong choice. This is how the universe shows you. Someone is always watching, always lifting you up. Here's my view. Sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest messages. A stranger's smile in a crowd, a song you happen to hear, a breeze that touches you in the middle of a prayer. They are like little notes slipped gently into your life, reminding you that you are loved, that you are seen. And the lesson here is deeply human. When you listen, you'll know you've never been abandoned. That sense of being left behind was only an illusion born of pain. The truth is, you've always been surrounded by a circle of light, by ancestors, by angels, and by the universe itself. They do not stop you from facing challenges, but they give you the faith and the strength to walk through them. So allow yourself a moment of stillness. Think back to the last time you noticed a repeating number, a strange dream, or an event that seemed like chance. Did your heart feel calmer in that moment? Did you sense a gentle current of peace wrapping around you? That is the sacred connection. That is proof your soul has always been cared for. Faith in the divine doesn't just make you feel safe. It gives you the courage to go further, to open yourself to what's new. Because when you know there is an unseen hand always holding you, you no longer fear stepping into the unknown. You understand that every challenge, every change, carries a deeper reason, and that reason always points you back toward the light. Aries, remember this: you are not a small, lost being in a vast world. You are part of the infinite web of the universe, where every soul is connected. And when you believe that, every step feels lighter, every breath feels deeper, every dream becomes a piece of the map leading you home. And that is the moment you realize justice has finally found its way to you. There is a moment, the point where every story leads, where light and darkness meet, where the truth can no longer be hidden. For you, Aries, this is the moment when the wheel of karma has come full circle. The one who once shattered your heart now collapses in the very shadows they created. They do not fall by your hand, but under the weight of their own wrong choices. And you, the one who once bowed your head in pain, now stand tall, no longer trembling, but shining in quiet strength. Do you see? You never needed revenge, because justice is not something you fight for. It is the gift the universe delivers at the right time. Karma has done its part, and while others stumble, you rise like a tender shoot breaking through dry soil, resilient, radiant. This is not the victory of ego, but the rebirth of your soul. You don't need to prove to anyone that you're strong. The truth already stands clear. You survived, you endured, and now you are free from the weight of anger, free from waiting for apologies or repayment, free to breathe, to love, to open a brand new chapter. True justice is not when the guilty pay. It is when you rediscover peace within yourself, a peace no one can give you and no one can take away. It only appears when you finally let go. And now, Aries, that peace is in your hands. Picture this: you are standing on new ground. Behind you lies a road of shadows, a path where you once fell, bled, and cried until your strength was gone. But before you stretches an open sky. Light spreads across the horizon, wrapping you in warmth, even soothing the old scars. You stand there, no longer the wounded one, but the one glowing from within, a soul reborn. In this moment, let your heart grow quiet. Let a space open for fresh winds to rush in, for laughter to return, for faith to find its way back. You don't need to look at the past for answers anymore, because you are the answer, and the light within you is living proof that justice is real, that fairness exists, and that love never disappears. Aries, your journey is not only your story, it is a mirror for those who are lost, showing them that after every loss comes rebirth. After every night, a dawn is waiting, and it shows them this truth. When you dare to open your heart, you will find a strength that never runs dry. So I want to leave you with a question, an invitation. Have you ever seen karma unfold in your own life? Share your story in the comments, because sometimes your words may be the light that guides another. Thank you for walking with me on this journey. Thank you for letting your heart listen, for allowing yourself to sit in stillness and find the truth greater than any pain. And finally, I leave you with a simple but profound blessing. May justice and light always protect you. May you step into this new chapter with peace, with love, and with the prosperity already waiting for you ahead.